Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It's your boy Scott. It is Friday, November 10th, 2023. You know to follow me on Barber's Chair Network and at Barber Chair Scott. Follow the Barber's Chair Network at Barber's Chair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Shout out to everybody watching this on YouTube, on the Twitter right now. Subscribe to patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network, as you see right here on the screen. And the link is in the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. Of course, the first hour is always streamed live. The second hour, which is mostly local talk, but also we do some national shit in there. Today will be mainly local talk. That will be in the second hour, man. So you need to subscribe to that right now. So today is going to be a very entertaining show. Of course, as usual, we've got Cousin Dan on his Cousin Dan Fridays up in here. He's gonna come in and tell about the stuff that he wants to rant on. But let's get into it, man. Let's get with our sound off. First, actually, before Dante cusses me out, I'm gonna get this rundown up here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. The rundown is right there. Just as he was getting ready to ask me that. I see, the thing is, I had it up, but then my internet started tweaking, so I had to fucking log out. And for some fucking reason, Patreon doesn't keep your files when you up there. Anyway, this is what we're talking about in the first hour of the show. We're gonna have our sound off, which is now a group segment. I'm gonna stop being David Ruffin and saying y'all some fake ass things. Everybody's gonna sound off. And we're going to go into our top 5 must-watch Week 10 games, which I must tell you, when I was putting this rundown together, it took me a long time because there's a lot of boo-boo on this week's schedule. Then we're going to have Cousin Dan join us, and then I will do my group mog of the week. Dante, you can pull up the Patreon rundown for those of you who want to know what we're going to be talking about in the second hour. In the second hour rundown, we're going to talk about that albatross that happened on the lakefront last night. Bears Panthers recap. We're going to talk about job security with Coach Matt Flus. Jason Benetti leaving the Chicago White Sox, which I was not a big fan of. In fact, I wasn't a fan of it at all. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about why the Bulls need you to finally just blow this goddamn shit up. So that's what we will be talking about today. But I've got the crew in here with me. We've got the one and only JR Bang. We got Courtney Colabro here, and we've got Dante. Mikey is not in today. Mikey be back in a week from now. So he'll be back, but he will have his parlay video for y'all, so y'all can get money this Sunday. We're gonna start off with our sound. I'm gonna give it to my guy, president of this company, one of the producers of this great show, with the message that he has for you guys.
Just real quick, for all the people at home. I know we joke about a lot of things, and I just don't want to get confused. We just have to be crystal clear. Mental health matters, people.
It does.
In no way, shape, or form are we out here trying to disrespect anybody or say that, the game is above all of that, because we know it's not. There's more to life. I've said this several times. At the end of the day, none of this shit really matters. There's much bigger things than a game. So let's please, we got a lot of comments. People saying, we just didn't get it. We dropped the ball in certain aspects. And the reality is, it was really no reason to jump to that level to say, we're disrespecting a black man and his mental health, because that was the last thing we were ever trying to do. I think, for as a matter of fact, I have my other card over here that I told Scott. I counted when we went and watched the episode. We said at least 10 different times that we did not mind that the man was crying. The crying was not the issue. So, everybody.
How many times?
JR, you said it 3 times. You started out rough. You wasn't saying it at all, but then toward the end, you said it 3 times. Mikey said fuck it. He didn't say it at all. But
I'm about to say, who said it the last? Luis, I think it was Mikey.
We working on our Puerto Rican brother Mikey. We gonna get him.
Working with our brother Mikey. Yeah.
But man, that's everybody. Just cool out, bro. We weren't saying anything to that extreme, and it was crazy to see a lot of people take it there.
And I will say this, for a lot of people, we're going to have that in the background. A lot of people had comments, and we're fine. Look, I'm one of those guys where I'm glad you watched this show. Y'all could be, in the words of Jay-Z on the Blueprint album in 2001, y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate y'all for taking time out of y'all day on Monday, Friday, and even sometimes Wednesdays to listen to us talk. I'm not a fucking journalist, okay? I'm not. You know, I might be in the new modern sense. I'm not. We just some niggas who know sports. And we have a good time. So if you're offended by that, in the words of Allen Iverson when he put out his first rap album, just don't buy it. Okay, we are here. We're gonna try to give y'all that good shit every damn week. We don't mean to offend anybody, but that was a nice PR piece by my brother and great president of this company. I'm gonna tell the rest of y'all gonna be my goofy mug of the week later in the show. Where I'm gonna get a little bit more turned up. But for the people out there who want to know, we weren't trying to make fun of anybody. We were just trying to, lighten the mood up a little bit. It's fine. That's really pretty much what it is. The thoughts of this do not represent the Barbershop Network, but it represents me. But anyway, we're gonna go on with the rest of our sound off. Is there anything you guys want to talk about before we get into the rest of our show? Bane looks like he's had a long week. If you listen to Summer Sessions, he's having a succession week. How's everything going, my brother?
It's a long week. Can't wait to talk sports. Hey man, but the piggyback on what was said, because I saw Charlie Caruso say some things. As I said, I don't mind the brother crying. I just didn't appreciate it being shown on TV and being put out there for the masses and everything. Because I don't need to see nobody crying. Black men, white women, black women, Latinas, Asians, Russians, Ukrainians.
Wakandans.
I don't like to see I personally don't like to see people cry. I have meetings, and as soon as somebody starts crying, I'll be like, oh shit, here we go. All right, because I don't like seeing it. But yes, mental health matters. People do have traumas. I got a feeling that like November is some type of mental health month. So the thing that I would say to anybody that may have an issue with anything that we might say, and it feels like it might, hurt, affect somebody's mental health, instead of commenting, saying, why don't you give us some resources that we could talk about, that can help people out with their mental health. I am somebody who's working on mine, so if you have any resources, let us know, because there might be some things that we might not necessarily know and we could learn from.
I'm pretty sure that Logic named a whole album after one of those resources. No one in here listens to Logic.
We do not listen to that waffle colored Negro over here.
We had to pan in because I thought you were gonna go in depth with that. I was like, who?
The only waffle colored Negroes we listen to rap are Mr. Aubrey Graham. Okay, that is it.
And I don't even do that.
Yeah, he said I don't even do that. But and I was want to say, as we're gonna wrap up this rundown, I don't want to get too long here. Me, Dante, and Mikey, we're starting up a free agency thing because we have had it up to here with our Chicago White Sox. My brother will be involved in this. I will have an email for you guys on Monday that you can send your pitches for us to consider what new team we're going to be rooting for in this 2024 MLB campaign, because I will not be rooting for that team that plays on 35th and Shields.
Might I interest you in a gently used Texas Rangers?
We're going to have you give us your pitch on Monday. I want to hear your pitch. And for anybody out there who says that I am
world champs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, y'all got to get a load of Championship Court. That's going to be a name for the rest of the
she's been acting different.
She's been acting crazy.
So different.
She's been acting wild. Talking to us like we're beneath. There's been a lot we've been taking since they won the championship. But we will be taking exceptions. Anybody say y'all pitches, we're going to have an email on Monday that you can send these to. We're going to spread it off on the off season. And then right before spring training, me, Dante, Mikey, and my brother Flows will be having a signing day. We're going to have multiple hats on the table, and we're going to pick who's going to have our loyalties for the 2024 campaign. Also, the White Sox are still on the table if there's White Sox fans who can give me a good enough pitch to stay home. And for the rest of you who say I am doing too much, y'all can kiss my ass.
Dan Plesac said there's hope on the South Side. I just want to throw that out there.
Well, I want to talk about that in the second hour, man. But yeah, Dan Plesac. Exactly. I want to talk about that in the second hour and the local hour. But let's get into our actual rundown, man. We're going to start off with the segment we like to call Top 5 Must-Watch Games of the Week. It is Week 10 in the NFL. I can't believe that we are already this deep into the season. I actually get a little sad the closer we get to it because it's like, man, in about 2 months, I'm gonna have to watch. In about 2.5 months, I'm gonna have to watch nothing but the NBA. And I understand this show is also on a network that does mainly NBA content, and we appreciate y'all. And we will have a lot of NBA content more and more through the season. But y'all know how I personally feel about the NBA regular season. Even though 3 weeks in, I've been entertained. But 10 when week 10, a lot of things going on. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This is a very rough schedule, and it took me a long time to find 5 games that I could actually put on this list. So we're going to start with my sneaky good game, which I do every week. It's Commanders at Seahawks. Commanders coming off a win last week. Seahawks got beat by the Baltimore Ravens. They need to get back into it. My personal opinion on this game is the reason I say this is something that could be sneaky good is because this is an interesting position that the Seattle Seahawks in. Just a week or two ago, you had me. I said that they're a sneaky contender in the NFC. They got destroyed by the Baltimore Ravens last week, and it kind of brought them down to earth a little bit. So now this is kind of like one of those games, like which path are you going to go? Are you going to say, oh, we just got beat up, just got beat up by a better team, or we're still just a team that's going to be able to take advantage of this opportunity and still put ourselves as one of the top contenders in the NFC. The Commanders are in a position too after trading 2 of their best defenders. One last week. Can they right the ship somehow this week? That's going to be an interesting game. Bane, what do you got to say about this game?
That there's nothing to talk about the Washington Commanders about. That shit's a wrap. The new ownership can't wait to destroy and rebuild this team. So basically, we are looking at a shit show. And that's really about it, man. I mean, I think they were not going to pay those 2 guys. So that's why they're gone. And thank you for Montez. Don't call me Keith Sweat. And I'm interested to see what Chase Young does in San Francisco. But it's really time to implode, as you was talking about with the Bulls. This is the same thing that's going to happen here. So I think that, Magic Johnson and company are feeling like some other fans on some other teams. Let's be terrible and see where we can pick.
Courtney, what you think about this particular matchup?
That it's honestly forgettable. Now that Washington, now that Washington traded away 2 of their best defensive players, I mean, you don't really have anyone to really watch for on that side of the ball anymore. Like, I'm not interested in watching the rest of that Commanders defense. What's the point? Also, Geno Smith has had 8 turnovers in the past 4 games, 6 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles, and I know that their offensive woes, stem, a lot more. It's a lot deeper than that, I should say. And it's not all his fault, but I'm not interested in watching this mid-off. I'm good.
Dante, what do you think about this?
Yeah, no, I share the same sentiments. I think, when you look at the Commanders and that new ownership group, like we said, like we've seen with the Bears, when they didn't draft you, when they didn't bring you in, there's not a lot of loyalty to players. So, when we saw they didn't pay Sweat or Chase Young, I think you're going to really see them try to go through a rebuild and get the team that they want to put together. So this game, man, I don't know how you say it's going to be sneaky good, but I mean,
hey, I'm doing my best, people. I'm doing my best.
I will say, I do like the Seahawks, but when you trade 2 of your best defensive players, I mean, you're not trying to really do anything. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
In the words of one of the fallen MCs of the 90s, Mr. Shock G, I'm trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. That's pretty much what I was doing with the schedule. So bear with me. A lot of these games,
mental health matters.
Mental health matters, people. Never
Don't you forget it.
Don't make a joke out of it, people.
Not a joke.
Mental health matters. We are being very serious.
We're being very serious. We got to make sure. Look, sometimes when you watch these games, it messes with your Sunday. We especially when the Bears ain't playing, whether good or bad, we know we got them. But hey, Courtney, you know this. Sometimes you watch a game and you tend to watch this game to take your mind off of things. That ain't the game to watch to take your mind off of anything
And that's
unless
exactly why I went to bed last night and did not
see
watch that snooze fest.
And for
See?
our fellow co-host, Mikey is not here, who tried to reprimand me and my brother for talking about Loki last night. It's because I am respecting my mental health, and I decided, I'm gonna have a fucking Marvel day in the middle of this bullshit that I call my football team. So I watched Loki, and I missed a good half of that game. You know what? I enjoyed my Thursday evening. So
And you know what that's called, Scott?
What's
you know
that?
What
It's called
is?
growth.
Growth.
That's what that shit is, man. So make sure you're having that. Now, this next game is actually a fake decent game. Now, if you're a Chicago, somebody who's born in Chicago, from Chicago, spending time in Chicago, this fake decent basically means it's good. It could also be bad at the same time. I've got Lions Chargers here in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium. This one I think is going to be a good game because of just how good the Lions have been. They're getting Dave Montgomery back this week, which is good for their running game. The reason why I say it might also not be good is because we just know how anemic the Chargers offense can be. We know how bad it looked this Monday against the Jets. Now, granted, Jets have one of the best defenses in football, but it looks really bad. Even as bad as the Bears look, that offense didn't look that good against the Bears either. So now you're going up against a defensive line with Aiden Hutchinson and everything they're doing that could solve some problems for the Chargers, but they're at home. Granted, there's no home field advantage, and I actually have to give some love to Detroit Lions fans. They have low-key been traveling their ass off this season, so I expect a large contingency of Detroit fans in there. It's going to be a lot of niggas who probably snuck from Coney Island on the flight. A lot of niggas with buffs on in that crowd. But this is going to be, I think, a fake decent game. I do think the Lions are going to win this week, but I think this is going to be a little close. Courtney, what you think about this game?
Yeah, I know I said that the Chargers were going to lose last week, and I was obviously very wrong. But we can get into the nuances of all that another time. I do think that the Lions are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a close game. I'd like to see Quentin Johnson kind of keep the momentum moving forward. That would be nice to see. But yeah, I really this is also another one of those games that doesn't really move the needle for me. I think until Brandon Staley gets fired, I really don't feel too confident about Justin Herbert and the trajectory of his career. Would be interesting though, because I know that Brandon Staley used to be Jared Goff's quarterback coach, right, with the Rams before he got traded, and then he went.
I know Brandon Staley was defensive line coach for the Bears in 2018.
Yeah, so I think he was his quarterback coach. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep in mind moving forward into Sunday. See what he can kind of get off Goff Oz.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was wild.
I do think that the Lions are going to win this game. I know they said. I think I read some crazy stat. They haven't won a game in the Pacific time zone in like 10 years or something, which is wild.
Considering it's the Detroit Lions, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I think they're going to get that win this Sunday. So stay tuned.
Dante, what you think about our Midwest brothers over there in Michigan?
I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be an even better game if I sell this ticket,
Oh, I'm about to say, yeah. Holla at this nigga for all your Charger tickets.
All my Charger needs, as usual. And like I said, 200 level, very good seats, great seats. But I think it's gonna be a really good game. And I do think the Lions are gonna win it. I think it's gonna be a close game. Probably Lions by 6, Lions by 2 field goals. But I think that's another team that, you speak about their drought on the Pacific time zone. This year has really been turning the tide and showing that it's a new Detroit Tigers really franchise, so shout out to them for finally being able to turn it around. So I think they'll keep their good season going and they'll get a dub.
Now, Bane, we know you've been trademarked saying all year nobody give a fuck about the damn Lions, man. What you think about this game?
They don't. But I do think the Detroit Lions are going to win this game. I think they have to win this game. Let me say that this is a must win for the Detroit Lions simply because what happened to them with the Baltimore Ravens. They can't come out and shit the bed on this one. They have to go in and they have to take control of this game, and they got to walk out of here with a win. And I think it's gonna happen, mainly because I don't trust the Chargers coach. But I do believe that Justin Herbert is going to have a good day. It's gonna be good seeing Jared Goff versus Justin Herbert too. We still kind of don't put Jared Goff, in the conversation of one of the better quarterbacks. I know they was talking possibly MVP, but once they got their ass whooped by the Ravens, it was like, oh yeah, we tweaked. So are we gonna tweak again? We gonna find out on Sunday. I love this matchup.
Yeah, man, let's go to my number 3 must-watch game of the weekend. This could have been a sneaky good game too, but I think this is going to be a legitimately good game. It's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals taking on young CJ Stroud and them Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are surprisingly 4-4 right now. Cincinnati Bengals, one of 3 teams in the AFC North that are 5-3. They're really starting to catch on. Joe Burrow was doing his thing last week, starting to look better. Like he said in his post-game interview, I can move now, which helps a lot. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins were both limited in practice this week, but Jamar Chase is scheduled to play. I think T. Higgins was listed as questionable, so that's something to pay attention to. My personal opinion on this one, I do think the Bengals are going to win, but I think this is going to be a game that's going to be very close to the end. I think it's going to be one of these things that potentially we can have one of these AFC quarterback battles between CJ Stroud and Joe Burrow. You all know Joe Burrow, in my opinion. Not the consensus opinion across people who watch the NFL. He's the second best quarterback in the NFL. And I think this is something where if you're the Texans, nobody expecting you to win this game, especially with as hot as Cincinnati's been playing. They can come out here, sneak and win. But I think it's going to be real competitive. Dante, what you think about this matchup? You were on mute, my brother. This happens at least once a week on somebody on the show.
Yeah. it's gonna happen, but no, I think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a really good game. Like I said, we've loved everything we've seen from CJ Stroud so far this season, and I do think he'll have a strong game. But at the end of the day, Joe Burrow has really found his rhythm and reminding you who he is. So I think that that Bengals offense will continue to get better, continue to perform better, and I think they'll get another W. Get their 6th win of the year.
Bang, what you think about this one?
This one right here is this is the sneaky good one. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think, even though CJ Stroud had an amazing game last week, breaking rookie records, they're going against a team that, even though they started off slow, people see them as a Super Bowl contender. This is now CJ Stroud's first game where it's like him going up against another top-notch quarterback, and there's expectations. The Texans have been better than what we thought they were going to be. So now, when the world is watching, because after that performance, they're watching, how do the Texans do? I think this is a sneaky matchup. I think the Bengals can be had. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and predict the upset. I think the Texans are going to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Courtney, what you think about this matchup?
I don't completely disagree with Bang there. I think if it's going to happen, excuse me, to the Bengals right now, in terms of, I know they're kind of people, it's funny, the recency bias that the media has, right? Like when a team does really, really well one week, and I understand the body of work is a lot smaller, but like you don't see this a whole lot in other sports, right? Like a team wins one game and then the next week, all you're doing is talking about, wow, the Bengals look like the team to beat right now. Well, if the Bengals are going to get beat right now, then now's the week to do it without, the sort of, especially if Jamar Chase does end up kind of getting, I know it's his back, right? It is messed up. And then not having T. Higgins and also having to rely on, Tyler Boyd. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen this weekend. I don't know how I feel about CJ Stroud going into Cincinnati to try to get this win, but like I can smell the upset potential there. Yeah, I'm gonna call it upset alert. 24-21 Texans.
That's why it's gonna be a good game. I'm really looking forward to that one. My number 2 game on this list, I think it's actually gonna be a legitimate game, no matter if it was a good slate this weekend. We've got the San Francisco 49ers, who quiet as kept, them niggas need to win. Them niggas need to win. They have not looked good the last 2 games. Brock Purdy has come down to earth tremendously. They will be going up against a team who's been sneaky good probably last month of the season. That is the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence and all those boys out there. I'm pretty sure. I think this game is in Duval, so they're going to be on the road. Niners fans travel either way, but this is going to be a good game. This one I feel like is, we brought up with the Lions need to win after the way they played the last couple weeks. The Seahawks need a win after the way they played last week. The Niners need a fucking win. They lose this game, especially to a team like Jacksonville, and if Brock Purdy continues to play play bad, it's going to be some conversations being had right now towards the end of the season, especially with the way Philadelphia, even though Philadelphia hasn't been great, they've still been winning games and kind of doing a veteran thing where it's like, yeah, it's not pretty, but we're winning. I feel like both the Chiefs and the Eagles been doing that all year. Can the Niners do the same thing? You want to see that? I'm going with Jacksonville in this game. Jacksonville's been playing real well. I think that the Niners are vulnerable, and I think that Brock Purdy has come back to earth. Like I said 2 weeks ago, I'm not blaming Brock Purdy. He just is who he is, and I don't feel like I feel like he's a good quarterback, but he's not a quarterback that you win because of. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this game. Dante, what do you think about this game right here?
This is gonna be a really good one. I think this is a good test for Trevor Lawrence. We talk about Trevor Lawrence a lot. He's been up and down, and he doesn't really get the criticism that other young quarterbacks get. We haven't seen that as often, but I think this is one of those games that can be really like a good barometer test to see how he stacks up against one of the best defenses in the league. So I'm looking forward to this game. I'll probably try to watch, all 4 quarters of this one, and I got the Jaguars. I got the Jaguars by a field goal. I think, Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy. We've talked about this for a while. When you have a great offensive mind, you have weapons around you. All he had to do was execute. But we see, Trent Williams went down. That's, been another issue. He hasn't had the same protection he had in the beginning of the year. So that's, when a quarterback doesn't have that protection, then the reality starts to set in. So we've seen him come down to earth. So I got the Jaguars by a field goal.
Bang, the Jaguars were your AFC Super Bowl representative. So are you with us on the Jaguar chain here?
Yes, I am. This is one of those other coming out parties. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars have been one of the better teams in the NFL this season, but they need that signature win. This is that. Go Jags. Duval. I think that's what they say.
Yes, that's what they say. We gotta ask my man Amp to come on here one day to talk about that. But Courtney, are we going with a clean sweep with the Jaguars?
I don't know. Like you said, the pressure is kind of on the Niners to not continue to hit the skid in the road that they're on right now. They're getting Deebo Samuel back. They also, now this is the first weekend that we're going to get to see that Chase Young, Nick Bosa combo. And now listen, I know Nick Bosa has not been the Nick Bosa that he's, been normally the past few seasons. But I do think that between those different factors, again, Deebo Samuel coming back and being at full strength with having Christian McCaffrey, I don't think the Jags are prepared to answer that call quite yet. I do still believe in the Jags, but I think they take an L this week. I think it's going to be close. I think they take an L this week.
I completely forgot that Chase Young was making his debut. That's going to be good. I just really want to see what that offense is going to do. In about 2 minutes, we're going to bring Cousin Dan in. He's in the room. We're going to see what he got to talk about this week. But we're going to end this off with my number 1 game of the week. It is an AFC North division matchup, man. We've got Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, who are 7-2, looking to be 8-2 on the campaign, going against Freaky Sean and them Cleveland Browns. They are tied right now for second in the division with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So a win here would do them wonders. I think this is going to be a close game just because it's a division game. I think it'll be close towards the end. And I think that the Cleveland Browns have probably the best defense in football, if not top 2. So I think if anything, they'll be able to take Lamar Jackson out of a rhythm a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who has a better quarterback. And in this situation, it's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is the better quarterback. I have not been impressed by Deshaun all season. I feel like that this team is winning in spite of him. Last week was probably his best game. But I don't think that is going to fly against this good Baltimore Ravens defense. So I think it'll be a close game throughout, but I think that the Ravens will pull away during the end. So I'm gonna say Ravens by 10. I think there'll be a key turnover from Freaky Sean towards the end of that, and I think that the Ravens will win this one and move to 8-2. Courtney, what you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you right now. First off, you know my thoughts about that man that plays in Cleveland. So yeah, I'll never honestly get behind the Browns, and I'm especially not delusional enough to think that he is going to carry them. So yeah, I got the Ravens handedly, honestly, by like 10 to 14 points.
Dante, what you think about this game?
I mean, years ago, I would get excited for a matchup of Lamar versus number 4 over there. But I think the Ravens are going to win by at least 10 points. I think the Ravens are really rolling. And I think, like I said, they're my Super Bowl pick. So I think they're going to continue their dominance. And I think you'll see them win this game easily. I won't say easily, but I think it'll never be a point where they trail. Like, they'll be up by 3, and then by the end, they'll win by 10.
Bang, you coined the term Freaky Sean, which I'll be using till the end of eternity. What do you have for us in this game?
Hey, man, I don't trust Freaky Sean no more. On the field. I don't trust him on the field. All right, I know.
You shouldn't trust him off that motherfucker either.
You shouldn't trust him off of it. But, you know, I wanted to make sure that I take the difference. But because of that, yeah, man, the Ravens smell blood. If the Browns win this game, it's going to be because they have one of the best, if not the best, defenses in the NFL. So Myles Garrett and company are going to have to show up. And I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I think they're going to show up. I just don't think they're going to win because they bought a lemon, all right? And I understand that the man ain't played like football in quite some time, and this is his first year. But I look at Michael Vick, man, and I look at other quarterbacks who did not play for a certain amount of time, and then they come back, they never the same. So I think that, you know, Freaky Sean being Freaky Sean is going to cheat him on the greatness that he could have. Because this team, the Cleveland Browns, should be the best team in the NFL with one of the best quarterbacks if Freaky Sean was like he was in Texas with the Houston Texans.
All right, that's what we got for that, man. So we're going to bring up our weekly Friday segment that we have on this show, which is called Cousin Dan. As we waiting to have Dante pull up the graphic for y'all real quick on here. Cousin Dan, man, for those of you who missed last week.
That is not the artwork.
That is not the right artwork. There we go. That's
what is this picture?
Yeah, we're gonna have him explain in just 1 second because I actually want the backstory on this too. But if you missed last week, I know Courtney, you weren't here last week. My cousin Dan will be here each and every Friday to give y'all his ridiculous sports takes. Well, he doesn't think it's ridiculous, but I do. So we're gonna bring Dan in. Dan, what is going on, cuzzo?
What's up, cuz?
What's going on? I don't know why that artwork got put on there. There we go. What's going on, brother? What's on your mind today? Yes, we can see you.
Well, first off, I want to start off by saying you guys are kind of off base and unfair with Deshaun. I get it. He likes tough jobs, but we can still level-headed about what has transpired. The last 2 full games that he played, he actually looked pretty good, but that's neither here nor there. I get it. You know, he's the R. Kelly of the NFL, so people don't like him. So let's get right into my hot takes, as you guys like to label them. First and foremost, I want to talk about Dak Prescott. And this is what I want to say to all of you people out there. Dak Prescott is a great quarterback. You just hate him and you hate the Cowboys. I'm going to pause right there because I'm sure you guys have a rebuttal to that.
Well, this is what I'll say about this. Great is a stretch. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think there's only maybe Yeah, he's a serviceable quarterback. I think he is a less turnover prone Kirk Cousins, a less talented Kirk
Turnover.
Cousins.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he's not a bad quarterback. You can win games with Dak, as the Cowboys have done the last 7 years. But he's like each what Stringer Bell say on the wire. He's a 40-degree day. You're not winning because of it, and that's the reason why they haven't won a championship is because of Dak Prescott. Yes,
it's because of that.
yes.
Okay. So let me give you some statistics, right? And let's look at this blindly without him playing for America's team.
By the way, I have no hate towards the Cowboys. By the way, I just want to point that out.
I do. I want to point that out.
Let's not act naive here, guys. Okay. So turnover prone, right? His worst season to you guys coming back. I think he broke his shin bone and his ankle, whatever. That his worst season, right? Coming back on a shorter season, 2,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, which, according to the fucking internet, he might as well have lynched a black man in the middle of the Dallas Star because they just, oh my God, it was so horrible. It was like, all right, you put that in perspective. He's missed it for a while, but cool. Before that, season right before that, 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
And what they do?
Hold on. The year before that, 2020, I think that was COVID. I'm not sure if I think the games were short or he was hurt or something. But beyond that, before that, 4,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 picks. 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, 8 picks. Stop me if this sounds like a fucking horrible quarterback. He's top 10. The only reason you people come down on him is because you fucking hate the Cowboys. I get it. As a Lakers fan, I know what it's like to root for like the Yankees or root for the fucking Cowboys. I totally understand it. But these aren't the numbers of a bad quarterback. In fact, Bang, Scott, if fucking Justin Fields was putting these types of numbers up, y'all would be on a fucking picnic on 79th. A parade.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna give it.
I would like you to call in someone in the audience, please.
Yeah, Courtney hit a rebuttal.
Go for it, Courtney.
I'm so sorry. You can't call someone the best quarterback or like even a great quarterback.
Great.
Yes, he's a great quarterback. So great that by the time they get to the red zone, what do? They have like what, the 27th worst fucking offense in the red zone? I'm so sorry. A great quarterback would know how to get the ball to somebody. CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, Tony Pollard. You have all those weapons. What is the problem? Why can you not score? Did we not just watch the same football game on Sunday?
Did you not see?
Yeah, I did. I'm wondering why that man stepped out of bounds in that 2-point conversion. I'm wondering why they can't score in the red zone. Because honestly, they should have beat the hell out of the Eagles.
Let's be fair here. Did you not see the tight end? What is his name? Is it Shoemaker or some shit like that? Did you not?
Oh, no. You're not wrong. That's unfortunate. But that's one example out of several.
Just let me finish. And I will let you finish. The fucking guy had his tight end wrapped up before he even caught the touchdown, which they said, oh, it's not a touchdown. Okay, that was game-changing. That played lights out against that Eagles defense, which Bang told me last year the Chiefs can be had. The fucking Eagles can be had very much so. But that's neither here nor there. Looking at this last game, he was the better quarterback. Okay, he played for the better team, and they just got fucked. That was one call out of many that I was just like, all right, what are y'all on?
I mean, we're not going to ignore his dumb ass running out of bounds when he could have stayed in bounds, and it would have been a 3-point game. That's what I said about that. Hold on, let me say it about that.
Go ahead.
Let me say this about that. The thing about you can name all the numbers. They're not bad numbers. And yes, if you want to use the Bears thing, yes, the Bears fans be proud of that. But let's be very clear. Hold on. Let's be very clear. The bar is in hell with the Chicago Bears. We shouldn't be comparing anything that has anything to do with modern offense to the Chicago Bears. This is a team that last night they brought up great receivers in the 1950s. But when it comes to Dak Prescott, when it's money on the table time, we can take all those numbers, throw it out. Yes, did he have a better statistical gain than Jalen Hurts? Yes, but Jalen Hurts made the winning plays towards the snap down the stretch to win the game. That's what the things that Dak doesn't do. So that's when they go in. Now, is it over the top because he plays for the Cowboys? 100%. Is Anthony Davis slammed over the top when he plays for the Lakers? 100%. We got people panicking about the Lakers. It's only been 8 fucking games. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying on that. I just think that Dak At least from my vantage point. Now, I think overall you're not wrong. Most people who just want to talk about the Cowboys, they do that shit to do that shit. But I feel like he's good, but I don't think they'll ever win because of him. And I feel like if he were going to do it, he'd have did for it now. But let me go to Bang, then we'll wrap this up and go to your next point. Or Bang, did you have something to say about this?
For the record, I like Dak Prescott. I do think that his time with I think we would not be talking about Dak Prescott if he was, let's say, with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Any team.
All right.
Any team.
You know, but I'm not calling him a great quarterback. I think he's I think if he top 10, he 10. All right.
He like 9 or 10. Yeah.
If
That's a great quarterback.
If the only people
great is Mahomes and Burrow. That's great.
Great.
Elite and great are two different things.
Elite is elite. Wait. That's where I'm going. It's like when you say few. What is it? Few? 1, 2, 3. There's 2 elite quarterbacks. There's a couple of great ones, and then there's some good ones. When you get to 7 to 9, they're good, and ain't nothing wrong with being good. Let's stop throwing labels on quarterbacks just because we like them. It's okay being good because when it comes because when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys with that defense, Dak ain't got to be great all the time. He just got to be good once. And that's what's special to me. That's even a more special thing about Dak because he's just a good quarterback. But because all of the things that you say about him because he's with the Cowboys, it is easy for you to underestimate him. So a team like the San Francisco 49ers, which he's had trouble with, are now in the shits, and the Eagles can be had. Dak just has to be good enough for that defense to do their thing, and that's why I said early in the season that I do think the Dallas Cowboys are contenders.
Let's go to
let's move
topic,
on.
Man.
Yeah, go to the next one. Then
argue this all day. We were talking about the Eagles. Speaking of them, I like to call this shit tush push these nuts. Pause.
Yeah,
okay,
that's crazy.
No, yeah, I'm fucking so tired of this play, bro. And again, I'm not a Cowboys, I'm not an Eagles fan. Like, I just look at this shit objectively. That shit has to go. Like, y'all just sit here and say, oh, Jalen Hurts makes the fucking plays in order with the game on the line. How fucking hard is it? I'm not saying it's easy, but they perfected a fucking play this is not football, bro. You should be able to push the quarterback's ass as soon as you hike the ball to fucking win the game, dog. That's not being clutch. That's just like, oh, let me pull out my patented fucking illegal play and I'm gonna win the shit.
Illegal.
I mean,
other teams have tried it and they couldn't do it. So do we hate them because they can do it well, or do we hate it like because your team and my team hasn't perfected it?
In general.
So if your team push their way in to win a big game, you'd have beef with it.
Motherfucker, run the ball or pass the ball in the red zone or at the goal line.
Russell Wilson's ass should have done instead of fucking throwing the damn ball against the Patriots. That's what he should have done.
I'll say this about the tush push. I don't 100% disagree. Do I like to play? Hell fucking no. I won't say it's cheating. That's what niggas say when he getting his ass with man. Nigga, you cheating. But it is like, nigga, run a regular fourth. As a fan, I don't want to see that shit. Now, if I was the Eagles, throw the ball away. If I was an Eagles fan, I tell y'all to kiss my ass. But what I will say, I will give the Eagles this. And I thought a couple weeks ago, if you'd asked me, I thought the NFL was getting that play the fuck up out of it. But the reason I don't think that anybody's going to change is, one, nobody's gotten hurt. Now, if somebody gets hurt, they'll probably change it. It's because we look at everybody else who's tried it, nobody can do it like the Eagles. The Eagles have it locked down to a science. And so I do feel like there'll be pushback from it when it's time to vote on these things. I can't see the thing being taken. But I compare it to, and thank God MLB took this away, the shift. I thought the shift was the most pussy thing in sports. Now, is it strategy? Yes, but it's pussy as hell. Like, I just didn't like it, and I'm glad they took it away, even though it wasn't cheating or anything. But I feel the same way about the tush push. But I understand why people don't like it, but also feel like why Eagles fans like fuck it.
It's a cheat.
Not like we can't be serious right now. This play is bullshit. Like it's 100% bullshit, bro. Like there's a rule in the book that says you can't push somebody from behind, but you're gonna tell me because they get on the side of this motherfucker and slide him into the end zone that is legal or go for the 1 yard first down? No, bro. Just run a regular quarterback sneak. It's a loophole. Like just run a regular quarterback sneak. Make that shit illegal, bro. But that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. 100%, bro. That's bullshit.
And to see this shit, I'm not hating. Listen, I'm not hating, bro. But it's just like I grew up and fuck, man. I sound like my father and shit.
We sound like, we all sound like the old heads. Oh, when
grew up like
in my day,
as a former defensive player, as a former defensive player, I don't mind a tush push. Just stop the shit. And see, that's the problem. Like everything that I'm look, I'm about to get disrespectful with y'all niggas. Y'all sound like pussies right now. For real? Y'all sound like pussies right now. Oh, dude, what is stuff they get a push? No, stop them niggas, fam. Get on the field, put your foot, hey, it's 11 on 11. Let's go get that shit. All right? And if you hate that shit, that means your ass don't want to be in the trenches doing that shit. Put your foot down, stop that shit. It is what it is. That's the problem with football right now. Don't nobody want to be tough out in that motherfucker. That's why we got all of these goddamn. All we got is all of these goddamn penalties and shit for roughing the passer, these targeting shits and all of that shit. Put your goddamn feet in the ground and stop that shit. Y'all sound like pussies right now. Come on, man. Get your hey Scott. Look, I'm sorry. Get your ass. And Dan, you big enough. Let's go out there on the field. Let's go 1-on-1. Let's see what happens. If you whoop my ass, that's cool. If you whoop my people don't even want to do the Oklahoma drill no more. That's the point that I'm making. People don't even want to do the motherfucking Oklahoma drill no more because the people pussy and they don't want to go through that goddamn drill. Man, get your ass on the field and do that shit, man. Stop. Come on, man. Y'all sound soft right now. Y'all sound soft as hell right now. Y'all sound soft as hell, right? Push back. Push back. What the fuck?
If you ever want to hear two West Side niggas go back and forth, you are seeing that right now.
Y'all sound pussy right now. I hate the tush push because somebody push it from the side.
Yeah,
nigga, push back.
As a fan, I don't want to see that shit.
That's what I'm saying. As a fan, because y'all ass soft as hell, because y'all in the trenches. Get y'all ass in the trenches, nigga.
From a football, go ahead, Dan.
If you want to make the game like not soft anymore, let's say these fucking decapitate.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point that I just made. That's the whole point that I just made. If you eliminate the tush push, we can't hit nobody in this motherfucker. You can't sack the quarterback. What we gonna take away next when we can't do the tush push? Now you literally can't tackle somebody. You just gotta push somebody. Man, get on the ground. Come on, man. Let's move on from this shit. Y'all all sound soft as hell for this shit.
Let's move on, man. Then I know
JR Bang.
Let's move on.
Sound soft as hell right now.
Let's move on.
I know you got some NBA shit. What's up next?
Let's pivot to the NBA. All right. So this is probably gonna be my most controversial take, but I don't think it's that controversial. I just don't think a lot of motherfuckers actually watch basketball, right? So Joker, fucking amazing. Like the guy is one of the most skilled big men that I've ever seen outside of Hakeem Olajuwon. I think he's fucking elite. I think he's amazing. However, I think Joel Embiid is just as good as Joker. I think they are on the same level. I do not think that it's Joker and then everybody's looking up at him. I disagree with that as far as who the best player in the league is. And I can explain this if you want me to. If you guys don't want to say anything first.
Well, I'll say this. I don't disagree. I feel like from if we're looking at like just individual stats and just the way these guys play, yeah, they're not that far away. I mean, we've had this conversation for the last 2-3 seasons about who's better and things like that. But I think what separates them, do I think that Joker is head and shoulders above him? No. But what he does, now granted, Joker just started doing this shit like honestly last 2 seasons. he plays well with shit on in the playoffs, which is something that Joel Embiid, not all the time, but he tweaks off in moments he don't need to be tweaking off in sometimes. And so I think also, like look in game 7 last year against the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics got away with murder in 2 rounds. There's no way they should have beat Philly, and there's damn sure no way they should have lost to to the fucking Miami Heat. So, especially they should have actually been swept. But it's because Joel Embiid, you can't have 15 points in the game 7 at home. You just can't do that. And I shouldn't even went to a game 7. They were seconds away from going 3-1. So I think that's the dividing line. But I also think when people from detractors, they look at it as because Joker, basically does his thing, shuts the fuck up, and does his thing. Joel Embiid, and I'm not wrong, I'm not mad at him for this. When he didn't win the MVP a couple years ago, he started crying a little bit. And I know that's the thing. By the way, mental health matters. I just want to tell you, mental health matters. We're not grading him for crying. I think that's a divide line. But if you want to talk about like player, I think it's very, very close, and I don't think you'll be wrong with any one of them.
Here's my thing. I'm talking about the individuals. I'm not going to talk about their teams because honestly, Joel Embiid, he doesn't have a Jamal Murray. He hasn't had one. Ben Simmons got the fuck up out of that in hard. Like it's always turmoil. Maybe Maxey can be that. So I don't want to really focus on the teams because I think Joker is in a better situation. If I'm being honest there. Yeah. And coaching as well. I think, but when I say I think they're on the same level is if you look at their stats, right? Joker is at like 29, 10 and 12 or some shit close to that. And Embiid is at like 31 and 10, right? And so you look and be like, well, Joker, he has the assists, blah, 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 blah. So my thing is Joker does a lot on the offensive end. He gets his rebounds by default. I mean, he's fucking 7 feet, but he has no defense. His fucking defense is
100%. Yeah.
And Embiid is an elite defender. And that shit, a lot of it outside of rebounding and blocks, I think he's averaging 2 right now. That doesn't show up in the fucking box score, like altered 10 to 15 shots a game or, made a team rethink going to the lane. Steph Curry, y'all love Steph. He wouldn't have dreamed of smoking that fucking layup that he's just smoked against Denver if Embiid was down there. That wouldn't even been the fucking play, the strategy. But you can do that with somebody like Joker didn't even fucking jump. He was just like, all right, this motherfucker ain't got this. Go ahead. So that's why I think they're on the same level because Embiid is playing both ways. And I know motherfuckers don't care about defense anymore, but to me, that shit is like just as equal as a motherfucker averaging 10 assists. Like Joker is dominant on the defensive end. I'm sorry. Embiid is dominant on the defensive end. And that's why I think they're both on the same level. I'm not putting one of them over each other if a motherfucker can't play no defense. Because I
agree with that.
I think the last time they played each other, Embiid put 50 on his fucking head. Like every time they see each other, like Embiid cooks them, but because he doesn't have like the best supporting cast, and he's not quiet and only give a fuck about racehorses like dude ass. I get it. They come down hard on him, but that's just my take.
No, before we get to it goes.
Hold on. I just want before you respond to that, Dante. Courtney got to get up out of here. So, Courtney, we're gonna give you the floor real quick. You gotta get to your Garth Brooks concert.
First off, it's not Garth Brooks. I take that personally. No, I honestly have no opinions about Joel Embiid or Joker personally.
We got to get Courtney a Louis Pass account.
I'm sorry. I have tried so hard to get back into the NBA, and it's just like it's not doing it for me. Like, am I missing something? Like, I don't know what to be looking for.
You're missing elite music. You're missing montages. You're missing the entertainment factor of the NBA.
I follow like every other sport. NHL, like it's hockey season right now.
You're missing drama.
Like the hockey season's got plenty of drama. They can fight each other. It's amazing.
NBA, we too worried talking about who got the best fit walking down.
Correct. Adam Silver will be having somebody's fucking head on a platter. That ain't.
Let them know. Let them know where they can follow you at. We can get you out of here.
Follow me on the Bird app, X, whatever they're calling it these days, at 1-800-CALL-A-BRO. Instagram at 1-800-CALL-A-BRO. I ain't got nothing to say other than it has been 1 week since the Texas Rangers.
And here we go, championship court.
You can't tell me shit right now, okay?
Championship court over there.
Correct. Just you wait until you know what it feels like. I told you, I'm gonna write you.
I will never know. I will never know. Okay, I've already chalked that up. I'll never know. But Courtney, we will holler at you on Monday. So
good,
enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, Dan, for hashing it up. No hard feelings. Dak Prescott sucks. Cheers.
Dan, what's your final point? Oh no, Dante, you have something to say, right?
Oh, okay.
No, I was just real quick. I think one of the issues with Embiid is his play style. For as he is, you have somebody at his size who does a lot of the foul baiting and falling all over the fucking place. That rubs some people the wrong way. But in terms of him being elite, he is elite. That goes without question. When you do what he does on both sides of the floor, he is. I think he's 1B because I would take Joker over him just because I know you disagree, but I think what he does on the offensive side of the ball with facilitating and getting his team not only shots but easy ass shots. When you look at the amount of easy shots his teammates get, granted he does have a better supporting cast, but he puts them in positions to make those shots. So I would still take Embiid over him, but I think with Embiid, a lot of the issues is like his demeanor, which is petty as fuck and has nothing to do with basketball, but that's just the basketball culture we in these days. Like basketball, I think it's in a worse space than most sports because a lot of people just going off narratives and what they want to see and not the actual basketball that's being played on the court.
Yeah, it's ass.
I agree. Let's go to that final point. We're gonna wrap this up.
Final point, man. So I get it. You guys are Steph Curry fans. There's a lot of Steph Curry fans out there, right?
It's really just me, if we want to be real. But
no, okay. I wasn't.
They don't hate Steph, but they're not his guy like me. But.
I hate Steph. So just so America knows and everybody knows the energy I'm gonna bring, I don't fuck with him. I don't fuck with his uprise, any of that. But beyond that, let's move past that. For fucking years, I have been begging the Stephanies, that's what I call his fan base. I've been begging the Stephanies for fucking years. They will argue with you over conversations that he don't belong in my opinion, like best point guard of all time, best scorer of all time, which is fucking absurd. He's the best 3-point shooter of all time. I give him that. But beyond any of these fucking arguments, America, what I want to leave you with is, for all the Stephanies out there, I have been begging you for damn near fucking 8-10 years. If you love this man so much, buy his fucking shoes, bro. I'm sick of this shit, man. Buy the fuck you fucking go to Costco or Shoe Carnival, wherever the fuck they sell them shoes at. You get you a pair of Steph Curry's and you shut the fuck up talking to me about Steph Curry. You buy his shoes. I'm sick of this shit, man. Buy his fucking shoes and then you come argue with me about if he better than Magic Johnson and all this bullshit. Motherfuckers bought Magic shoes. Goddamn it, my daddy got pictures in the motherfucking Converses and all that shit.
Well, technically,
what to be fair, Magic
didn't have a shoe.
Hold on, bang. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, everybody had the same shoe. It was just like a different color.
Different colorways.
They had colorways, man.
Gators and wingtips and shit and smoking Newports back in the fucking day. You know what I'm saying? They ain't have to rock no gym shoes, motherfucker. But I'm sick of just seeing shorties. What motherfuckers do, they'll tell you Steph Curry this, Steph Curry that. Go buy they fucking shorties some $40 Curry stuff. You know, I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't buying the shoes though. I can't respect it if you ain't buying that motherfucking shoes. That's
okay. I got a question for you. I got a question for you. You are a diehard Laker fan. Yes. Shaq has some of the worst shoes to ever be made in planet Earth. To the fact, you know good and goddamn well, if niggas was rolling up with them dunk mans, niggas was getting framed. Okay, so why is it the same shit? So niggas can't be big Shaq fans and say fuck his shoes?
But see, the thing is, Shaq was selling his shoes for $30 out of Walmart.
No, we talking about Reebok.
And we talking about
Reebok.
Okay, so
the Shaq Gnosis joints was decent. I had the Shaq Gnosis joint.
Not when they was released. When them niggas released, them niggas was like, yo, them the ugliest shoes. No.
So I thought he was talking about like the Walmart joint.
We talking about the.
When Shaq first came into the league and all that shit, that was what, like 94, 95. I wasn't
92.
wearing my own shoes at that point.
Yeah.
I was like a shorty. So, But no, I had plenty of Reebok. I had Iversons. I'm pretty sure I had the
No.
Shaq.
Did you ask your mama? Did you ask your mama to buy you some
Let me
Shaq
go get them
Noses?
diesels.
I think I was too young. Like they
No,
just
I
don't-
don't hear that.
No, I don't hear that.
No.
I was a Kevin Johnson fan.
I
I was a
had
Kevin
a
Johnson
pair.
fan,
Jordans,
and
bro.
I
I
went
had
and
Jordans
grabbed me
off
the
the
Kevin
wall.
Johnson Converse.
You have to
Nigga, if
think.
you a fan, and I was 10, no, 12 with the
Orlando.
Kevin Johnsons, my nigga.
I feel sorry for you. Like I wasn't a fucking.
Them shits was hot, nigga.
When Shaq
Them
came
niggas
to
was,
the
and I was a
I
fan.
was still a Bulls fan, bro. So I wasn't asking.
You got a whole bunch of excuses.
No, I don't have no excuses, motherfucker. Like, first of all, I was more of a Kobe fan than anything. I had the fucking school buses just like Scott did.
I had the moon boots. Them bitches
crazy-
was ugly though.
Yeah, the bitch was hot in the moment. So no, it wasn't that. It was just like when Shaq was like when he first came into the league, nigga, I wasn't buying my own fucking shoes. I was asking for Mike's and Ninja Turtle shoes. That's what I was asking for. No bullshit.
I mean, I love Steph, but you can have ugly shoes and like
Nah, fuck that.
You can have ugly shoes.
You know there are people out there that have Steph on the Mount Rushmore of basketball.
Okay, that's their opinion.
Sure, but I'm talking about these motherfuckers will fight you over the shit, and I'm like, bro, if you look like, just buy his motherfucking shoes. And the reason I brought I brought this up is because I had friends with me a while ago. You know, niggas when they fake know something about business or they think they do. When Steph first hit the scene and like he had the whole Under Armour deal, someone told me, a group of friends told me, actually, it's called we're called Terrible Friends. It's a group chat about 10, 12 niggas. They said, yeah, you know, Under Armour is gonna take over Nike within 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
I told, and you know how you
What?
let me finish.
Yeah,
and you know how
bullshit.
you the only motherfucker in the group chat that be right about some shit, and everybody's like acting like you're the stupidest fucking person alive. I said, bro, they have no fucking chance in hell. These shoes aren't appealing. Under Armour is not gonna be it, bro. And here we are today. They don't never want to talk about this shit. And I've been begging these motherfuckers. I'm like, don't talk to me about Steph until you buy a pair of them motherfucking shoes that you said was gonna take the shit over. You put them ortho 35s on, motherfucker. You go cook somebody, or you wear them bitches and stand on the table at the day party. Then I will respect your Steph Curry. Until then, shut the fuck up talking to me about Steph Curry, bro.
Oh man, Cuzzo, good to have you on again.
Always great
Let
to
them
have
know
you
follow you on Twitter. Let them know they follow you on Twitter.
At Dan_Glorious. All I have is Twitter. Follow me at Dan_Glorious. And that's it, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right. No doubt. We're gonna holler at you next Friday, Cuzzo.
All right, y'all.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna wrap up this first hour with my Goofy Mug of the week, which is something that I like to do each and every week on this show. For this one, man, I'm gonna give it to people who offended. I know we had a real PR answer at the beginning of the show, but I don't do that all the time. So today, for anybody who's offended about what I said when we said as a collective, but I'm gonna take the bullets for my team because it was my idea to put that on the fucking rundown. I'm gonna be very clear with y'all, man. Number one, I am not a journalist. Okay, I'm out here giving my opinion on things. Some of those things that I say, people might like the way they come out. I really don't give a shit. I was not trying to make fun of this young man's mental health. In fact, we weren't even making jokes today. We just like playing around, man. This is when I made this show, when I made this network, hence the name, the Barbershop Network. We wanted to have barbershop style conversations, people who don't take shit too damn seriously, but at the same time, knowledgeable conversation. Because if you've been in a barbershop, 98% of that is not knowledgeable. We want to take the barbershop atmosphere, add with some extra sport knowledge. So we just go ahead having fun, man. So if you have fun and you love the stuff we talk about, we appreciate it. If you offended, honestly, y'all kiss my ass. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. We're going to keep doing what we can do. As Dante said, we counted. We said multiple times, there's no problem with crying in sports. There's no problem with crying, period. As a grown man, as anybody, it's a natural human function. Do what you want to do. But when you go into a crowd and you do the motherfucking Lambo leap and shit, niggas is gonna make jokes. That just is what it is, bro. And so that's pretty much what it is. So anybody who's offended, you get my Goofy Mug of the week. So we appreciate my cousin Dan for being on here each and every week. Cousin Dan Fridays for the new segment. So he will be back next Friday. Next Friday will be our last Friday show of the month because Black Friday is a holiday, and also I will be traveling, getting ready to finish the rest of the Bears season off. So we're gonna begin the set. You can subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershop Network, so you can see the full show. We'll be posting that up as soon as we get done recording the second hour. So you can expect that up probably around, around 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Pacific. 9:30 Eastern. Usually be up by then. Everything will be up on there. Subscribe to the Patreon. If you want to subscribe and just watch I'm Not Gonna Hold You content, you can subscribe to the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, which is a $5 tier. $5 holler. If you want everything we have on the Barbershop Patreon, which includes early 79th and Hallis episodes, which you'll be getting tomorrow. Me and my brother Flo's breaking down the last 2 games of the Bears. We're talking about that in a little while. You can get that. New episode of Summer Sessions. Very entertaining episode this week. If you want to hear the latest story time on Bang, you might want to check that out. And everything else we have on the network. Me and my brother Flows will be doing a new episode of Cinema with the Guys, which we haven't done in a while, mainly because strike, and we didn't have that much to talk about, but the strike is over. Shout out to all the actors out there and the actors. I got a lot of friends in the Actors Union out here in Los Angeles, so I'm happy for my friends who got a deal with money that they deserve, so shout out to them. But next week, me and my brother will be dropping a new episode of Cinema with the Guys. We're going to be talking about why we hate a Secret Invasion, which we talk about in the summer. We're going to review Loki Season 2, review the Marvels movie, and we're going to talk about the future slate of the MCU and where they're going to go from there. So check that out. Y'all know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarbChairScott. Y'all know where to follow Dante at October's on Tay. Y'all know where to follow JR Bang at JR Bang. You know where to follow Courtney at 1-800-CALL-A-BRO. And of course, follow the Barbershop Network at Barbershop Net. If you want to follow my cousin Dan, you follow him Dan_Glorious on Twitter. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, we'll holler at y'all in the next hour. If not, we still appreciate you, and we'll holler at y'all niggas on Monday. We up out of here.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line.